I'm going to say it first, the runtime on this video will probably last longer than my New Year's resolutions. Same thing. So it's taken me a very, very, very long time to come to the realization, or even to be comfortable talking about my New Year's resolutions or my resolutions, or, habit forming, or whatever you want to really call it. Because when you really boil it down, I suppose New Year's resolutions just, everyone's attempt at creating a habit that falls through like 24 hours later. But just with me, it's probably about 15 minutes later. I don't do things by halves, and that's probably the issue with a lot of my New Year's Eve resolutions. And please let me know in the comment section below if you're very similar in that respect, because I will throw out there something like, hey, I want to lose 115 kilos and I only weigh 120 at the moment. Or I want to save $5 million, and kind of all these things that instantly are unachievable. And I get so engrossed in them, I get so worked up, and I get so excited about these resolutions, for lack of a better term. I might change between habits and resolutions, I'm not sure, but that's what I'm doing if I change the vocabulary. But I really need to turn it down and reevaluate on what I'm doing, because it causes me no end of stress when I'm trying to meet these resolutions, I must call them revolutions, then who to please? Like, what does it really matter? Like, realistically, are you making resolutions? Resolutions, I can't even talk. I will let you know a bit of a side note. Before I went for this walk, because I wanted to get in before the thunderstorms, I don't know if the microphone is picking up the thunder, but I actually grabbed my medication for my ADHD, and I didn't realize until I took it that it was actually my blood pressure medication, which I'm not allowed to take more than one tablet, and this is a second tablet. So if I pass out halfway through the video, I'm in Christ somewhere, just come find me. But anyway, I've taken my Ritalin as well, so hopefully that counteracts it. But what it really comes down to, who are we trying to impress? Like, we are talking about people, about resolutions. God, I'm doing it again. And by all means, like it's not having a stab at anyone or a dig at anyone that wants to do that. And what if that's your bag, and by all means, me being on YouTube, I do like talking, and like I have said in previous videos, I found it very therapeutic. So bear with me. But and I think that's what half the pressure and half the stress is for these resolutions. That I suppose that these imaginary people that most often that I don't tell what my resolutions are, geez, I'm kicking goals today, that they would judge me in all these different things. But what it really comes down to, and like I said at the start of the video, everyone's in the same boat. I'd like to know the statistics, but I'm pretty sure it'd be high 90s of people that probably wouldn't even make it through the first week of their resolution. Yeah, not their revolution. Maybe I got world domination on my mind. I don't know what it is. Maybe I should make that for my next one. But I was watching a really close friend's video this morning, because he's a YouTuber as well. He was basically going on about his journey, which is fantastic. It's good for him. We have spoken about it previously. I'm not going to go into it because it's not my place. But someone in his comment section basically said, look, you really need to take it one day at a time. Don't think of any setbacks as failures and all these different things. And that was kind of an epiphany, because I was originally going to have this video going in a different trajectory and talking about all these different things and how my ADHD gets in the way of making resolutions. Hopefully it's the blood pressure medication not making me lightheaded. But that's what it really comes down to for me. And it's almost like an epiphany. And it's come, what 44 years this year? Jeez, I'm getting old. So my resolutions for this next year is to make a video a week, make a kind of a what if scenario ADHD video, and I'll talk about that in the next video, because the first one of those will be coming out probably the next couple of days. Not giving too much away, but it's pretty much how would my ADHD handle a more fantasiful, if that's a word, scenario. And I know I said it not getting away, but I'm going to do ADHD versus zombies for my first one, to see how I would, theoretically in my mind,
play out a scenario. How long do you reckon I would survive with zombies? Because I did have a comment on a video probably 6 months ago now, and I did pour my heart out in regards to that video, in regards to a certain situation. And one of my beloved commenters, she said she wouldn't trust me in a survival scenario with zombies because, you know, I'd let the team down. But I have chosen a little bit of a different location today. I'm actually sitting on a seat, which is a lot more comfortable than the brickwork from last week. But I really, really find getting out here to be pretty therapeutic, to tell you the truth. I find it really nice and relaxing. It gives me an opportunity to talk. Right before a thunderstorm, not many people are walking around, so it's a little bit private. So maybe I'll start doing all my filming when people are hiding inside because of lightning strikes. And when I hyperfocus, I burn really hard. Like, you know, I get really, you know, attached to something really quite strongly, and I burn myself out. So what happens with that is I actually lose interest, and I'm not too sure if that's like an ADHD thing or it's a hyperfocus thing. I'm not really too sure on how it actually lays into it, but that's how it works for me personally, is that I become so infatuated by it, then I become really burnt out or very over the top, then kind of, yeah, throw it to the side because I've had like a mini inconvenience or something's a little roadblock that's made me instantly lose interest in that particular hobby or particular thing. And most often not lose a lot of money because I go out and buy a lot of things to go into that project and never use them again. The ADHD and the New Year's resolution is that I kind of think to myself, is that the best way forward? Like, yeah, maybe take it one day at a time, not necessarily just the resolution, but just with everything with the ADHD. And like I have said previously in previous videos, is that I'm doing these videos, English, to kind of have like a journal for people that, yeah, I suppose have just come across it, or maybe people that are neurodivergent, maybe neurodivergent yourself, or people that may know neurodivergent people, and kind of give some sort of, like, I suppose, what's going on in my brain, what's kind of going in that headspace, and kind of documenting it, then having it on the internet. And if it helps someone, fantastic. If it gives us an opportunity to talk and relate on a topic, even better. But yeah, they're the kinds of things that I like to talk about and kind of get my head around, because like I said, going back to that comment on that video that I watched this morning, it was like an epiphany that it's so simplistic, yet it's something that I've never really thought about. Normally when I watch YouTube videos, when I normally absorb content, I normally get really infatuated, like that high, almost like that hyper-focus. It's almost like a pep talk. And get excited, then what will happen is that hyper-focus, for lack of a better term, will just burn out and it will disappear. So the interest level, it's almost like just that very short change. I can't think of the right word for it, just like a little period of time where I'm pretty excitable and I should really act in that moment. But I suppose going back to what I want to do next year is, I suppose, take some time for myself, like take it a day at a time. I'm not going to put any outlandish goals out there. I do want to lose some weight. I do have to lose some weight. I do think with my resolutions is that if I set them myself, I tend to lose interest in them or not really accountable to anyone. But what it really comes down to, if I'm accountable to someone else, I think I do better. Like realistically, I do have a very unattractive quality to add to a few, that if I believe someone's told me no unjustly, and like I said, it's not it's not my inflated sense of ego or anything along the lines of that, but if someone has told me no and I'm like, hey, that doesn't really sit right with me, I'll probably go to the ends of the earth to prove them wrong. Maybe that's what I need to move my headset around into, the sense of either placing my resolutions onto a fictitious imaginary person, to think that I'm accountable to this imaginary fictitious person, to see if that works, or get into an argument with my wife or my kids and obviously go against the grain and see if that works. So losing a little bit of weight, I'm not losing copious amounts of weight. I do want to do some more exercise, and like I was saying before, I'm just going to take it a day at a time. I'm not going to say, hey, I'm going to run 3 times a week. I'm going to do, realistically, I'd like to give away McDonald's, and I probably will make that as a hard and fast rule, which is pretty achievable to me. The birds are back. they keep finding me. But yeah, so realistically, I suppose weight loss and no McDonald's, which realistically should go hand in hand, right? If I don't eat junk food, that should hopefully peel a couple of kilos off. Failing that, I'm not gonna throw it in the waste paper bin. If I do have a bad day, I'll just get back on the horse, as they say, and try again, and go from that way. Like, I don't want to be stuck in this routine of getting to the 1st of January or getting to the 1st of July or getting to the 1st of October. Realistically, this video, yes, it's filmed on New Year's Eve, but you can pretty much insert it any time of the year. Because I'm going to throw my wife under the bus here as well. We are horrendous when it comes to setting goals. And I'm going to say, from a personal perspective, dieting for me, it will be Tuesday and I was like, we'll start our diet next Monday. So instead of ripping the Band-Aid off and say, hey, look, I'm not going to eat that chocolate bar, or I'm not going to, do whatever, I normally forecast it into the future. And by that time that comes around, it's kind of like, the motivation's gone. Because like I said, going back to a little bit earlier, is that I get that pep talk, I get that excitement, I get that dopamine, going, yes, I can do this, I'm fantastic, I run with it. But if I set it too far into the future, I lose interest in it. Or I try and make excuses for myself to try and avoid that, or lack accountability. So I suppose what I'm going to do now is close out this video before I get rained on. I do want to make it accountable for 3 things. Obviously, for weight loss, to do 1 video a week. The 3rd one is to take things a day at a time. And I'd like for maybe you to consider that as well, if you are that kind of mentality. I think I'm going to get rained on. That I have is that, it's such a great comment, and I really wish I had have seen who wrote it, because I might even jump back on his video and just say, hey, look, thanks. It's really, it's given me an epiphany. But I can't stress enough, that is probably the best thing that I've learnt this year, or if the entirety of my life, just taking it a day at a time. It's probably going to be the motto that I'm going to go with my ADHD going into the future. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you have a fantastic night and a fantastic week. And anyway, have a great time, and I'll catch you next video. Bye.